I'm going to start by saying, with your permission, I'm going to, after almost falling, I have 2 crushed discs in my back. So I'm going to sit in one of these chairs after, just for the comfort, because you saw what happened. I have a little problem with the pain from certain chairs. So I apologize, because I've had nothing but joy being back in Pakistan. And you have the grace of how you welcome everyone that is unchanged in my 50 years of visiting you. And I find the innovation, some of you young people that I've been coaching and advising, has been phenomenal, and such an honor to see the brilliance. I mean, how many people here own a business? You own your own business? Can I see a raise of hands? How many own a business? How many work for a company? You're working for a business, have career paths. And the rest of you are retired. Didn't participate. We serve business owners, so I operate the largest 40 years old business for developing businesses, helping them grow faster. It's ranked the #1 business conference in the world by 22 third-party press for 10 years in a row. Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, Forbes of London. We do 5 conferences a year in Dallas, and they come from 150 countries, and we have hundreds of businesses from Pakistan that we've been serving for over 30 years. So I just want you to know what we do and how we do it. I'm going to talk about my new book, and I do conferences all over the world, as all of you do, and I have to say, being in the elite of every chair that's spoken, including the ministers, the governor, and Ashar, you're inviting us is such an honor and a privilege. What a world-class place that is the future. I wish every one of our members all over the world, 370,000 of them, were here to see what you're seeing, how you have made a commitment to yourself and what this conference represents. And I want to also comment, because the focus, and you don't get a break, and you never get to leave. And I want to just tell you, in hosting an event, what makes it happen is your master of ceremonies. And it's a pleasure that she represents her brand, CNN. But have we not had a dignity and a management of this meeting that is extraordinary from our hostess? So I just want to compliment the amount of work and focus and effort that goes into giving us a great experience day after day, because it's been magnificent. This is the title of my new book. All our speakers are giving you the content. The content is important, and everybody's content is a pearl, like these squares on the stage. They're matched, wonderful pearls of information that comes to what I'm hoping to do is give you a necklace for the whole conference. You all live in an age of super change. Humans used to live in an age that was comfortable. Here in Pakistan, that gave us language, music, art, math. The civilization has come from here. Coming to see your old city and look at the history of this nation's gift to the planet, we all have to come and be partners in Pakistan's amazing future that's unfolding. But you individually and the nation Pakistan will prosper or not, depending on how you accommodate the new challenge of super change. Our parents, and generations lived in the Bronze Age, in the Iron Age. We had, for generations, hundreds of years, we knew the age that we lived in. It didn't change, and we knew our place in society. We had just a few generations ago, we moved from the horse and buggy, and we moved into an age of change humans have never seen before. Now, I'm telling you, this generation has lived through my generation. I'm older than I look. And I've lived through watching from a horse and buggy to the transportation with automobiles, to flight, to the communication age where we had faxes and modems, telephones and radios and television. I remember when we didn't have television, when we didn't have telephones. It's mind-boggling. I'm still alive, and I can remember when first telephones came in. You just don't realize the change that's gone through different ages right in one generation. But now, we live in super change. It's passing the capacity of leaders of nation and individuals and husbands and wives and families to adapt to the change we created ourselves, and which you're hearing on stage from every speaker telling you about the acceleration. So my new book is called Super Change. I'm a New York Times best-selling author many times. This book comes out in 2 weeks. For those that raise their hand and you own a business, thank your customers at the holiday season. Give your 10 best customers this book. It'll give you 3 R's. It'll retain your customer by acknowledgement, giving them tools for their future, thanking them for doing business. You have to retain your customer. Second, in Super Change, you want your customer to repeat buy, to buy more often, and you have to give them acknowledgement to do that. And third, you want to have something on their shelf, something they see that you gave them that will cause them to refer and talk about you, to repeat buy more and refer for you. Nothing builds business greater and faster than those acknowledgments. So the first time this book has ever been talked about, these slides are made for you at this conference. Never before has this lecture been given. And the slides are the lesson. So super change is the biggest stress we now see in the home space and the workspace. And it's not going away. We're in an age you can't get out of. Super change brains are new brains. So you need new tactics, new tools, and you need new brains. When you have a team at a government agency, if you have a team in a business, you need a team that the brain can learn faster. I don't care what their credentials are from a university. If they're not super change brains on my team, they have to learn faster, unlearn faster, and relearn faster than that. Now, who are those brains? You all are super change brains. Look where you are. Look what room you're in while other people are home doing their business, getting ready for the weekend and prayers. I'm saying you are improving yourself, and you're doing what this slide says. You're the leaders of tomorrow. Delay in doing those things regarding your learning and upgrading is the one cost that's too costly to pay. That is the way we've always done it. Retards brands that aren't here. In America, we've seen brands like Kodak, who dominated the film industry, who thought digital photography was never going to make it. They had 96% market share at one point. They're in single digits now. They lost their market share. Companies that aren't here anymore in America are companies like Circuit City that was all over the United States. Now it's gone because of super change. Toys R Us just went out because they failed to adapt to super change. Sears almost went bankrupt, but emerged. It still may not make it, because are they adapting to super change? As we see, everything about commerce is changing. So what's coming in the future? You're seeing it. What have we been talking about? So 2G was a 2-inch pipe. 3G was a 3-inch pipe. But ladies and gentlemen, 4G changed everything in your life. It was so much better. I mean, start to remember how you had a fax. What it was like with a modem when you waited forever for the email to come in, if you can remember back to that. And then start to remember how 3G changed things. 5G, that's a 100-foot pipe. It's not evolutionary. It's going to change what? It's going to change everything in your world. It's going to transform every website and all social platforms. Yours, everything that's up, it's obsolete in 5G, and it's active in December all over the world. It transforms AI to a new form of AI we never saw before in that pipe. It accelerates automation, which we've heard every speaker talk about, as never before It changes everything. It accelerates cloud. It's going to be a new cloud like you've never seen. It transforms. Get this economy. In 24 months, 4 billion devices are turning over. Every Internet of Things, every cell phone, every box and device, every TV, Apple this or that, whatever yours are, you're going to change to 5G in 24 months. That's an economy by itself. Nations that don't 5G faster are going to be left behind. It's not an option, it's a necessity. It's part of super change, of keeping up with the acceleration of super change. You can't be left behind anymore. You have to adapt to super change. It accelerates e-commerce, which will change, which we've talked about with blockchain, which really was made for 5G. Now, the things we've been seeing, you blew me away talking about your vision. You know, I want to meet you privately. It was so forward thinking on backboning. But you see with just the mesh, it changes everything you've ever seen, touched, done. And you can't be hacked and you don't have this problem with privacy. You're peer-to-peer. Accelerates blockchain, everything. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait a minute. Economic convergence. Now, I tell you this because it has to do with the world that you're looking at when you read things about economics. Super change is happening to central banks. They don't have control like they used to. If you've been reading about what just happened with the Fed, why am I not on Wolf Blitzer's, I should be in the Situation Room on the Fed on that story, because we almost locked the banking system the last 3 days. Now, I'm not going to go into that if you didn't follow it, but it was very close. The Fed had to put $150 billion in our American system because the banks ran out of cash. Why? AI controlling all the money. The changes that have happened in economics, it changes everything. We're in a time of deflation. Prices aren't inflating. Everybody's trying to inflate them. The last time this happened, where it happened for decades, was what I'm going to talk about next. It happened here. And it hasn't happened since, but it's happening in your lifetime now. It's the first time it's happening again since the 1800s. In the 1800s, what happened? We had the Industrial Revolution move to an internal combustion engine. That changed everything. That changed trains, ships. That gave us flight later. That gave us the ability to get away from horse and buggy. We had electricity lighting up the world instead of candlelight. We had electricity running motors. We had the telephone come in, the radio come in. We had, when we talk about the Iron Horse, anything that was running, we had radios in them. We had assembly lines. We had automobiles. We had television. And then we had flight. This lasted for 30 years of economics and was the biggest super change that humanity had known since we discovered fire. Then, we haven't seen it until 2020 now, with the new super change convergent. 2020 is when it begins, it's just starting. So 5G super changes everything. Everything you see, everything you know, this stage, we can all be holograms. You would not know it's not us. That technology exists out of Toronto right now. You cannot tell it's not us. You come and shake hands, you go right through the hand. It's just so certain that's solid. That's how good it is right now, but it needed 5G to bring it to this stage. And now it's cheap and low cost. Quantum computing, it's just starting. And what it's doing already is changing everything. AI is now writing the code for AI. Humans have lost control of the code writing. It's not that it's self-aware, but it will be. But it's already writing its own code, self-learning and writing code, more complicated than the original designers can even keep up with. And in talking to the professor, he had this famous sentence I want to quote from: "Don't worry about the AI war and who's going to win it. Everybody's already lost. China's won." And it's in a very cuspice of, and what did Putin say? Who controls AI will control the world, meaning the economics. Quantum transportation is already being done in labs. They stop moving molecules and cells, they're moving objects in the quantum field. They don't even have the math yet to say, why does it go from point A to point B? You think that's going to change a few things? Because it's being done. Quantum and DNA longevity in medicine are in a revolution. We're not going to die like the past generation. If we stay alive, we're going to have a transhuman engineering. We could see aging become a thing that is not a given. We're terraforming the planet technologies to reset the environmental damage we've done. We did that over 100 years. We can clean it up in 25. We can terraform this planet. We're already doing it. Hyperloop transportation. You've never seen anything like what Elon Musk is bringing out next that's going to change transportation of goods and services. AI transportation, managing this with blockchain with no humans involved, not centralized control. When we talk about robotics, I'm talking about smart, some are humanoid, some are not, that are self-aware, that are thinking, and that are serving and doing not just tasks, but co-inventing with us. I'm not afraid of it. I don't think we're going to be, I think we're going to interact and have a great adventure coming up. But when you look at the 4 billion devices, you have to look at what the economics are. The first 5G wave was the towers and integration. That is billions going to trillion, and it's jobs and going on all over the world, and it's going to go on for 20 years as it hits all the rural areas. The second 5G wave is the utility software that Apple is using to 5G us with all their existing, now upgraded apps. And there's just trillions going into that. To give you an example how big it is, just the investment, because I'm an investment banker economist, I ran one of the largest brokerage firms in the world for 22 years, publicly traded, and I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. Just the investment in AI, artificial intelligence, for 5G, because it won't work without 5G, for self-driving cars, trucks, planes, and ships, is $7 trillion a year. $7 trillion in one sliver. Now all the finance is controlled by AI. 96% of money movement is AI. That's much bigger than $7 trillion a year. Just going into AI. There's no capital in the world that's ever been centralized and moving mobily like what's going into AI. So you haven't seen anything. The pace of change of AI is only accelerating. So third G generations. That's the applications you're all creating. We're talking about here that are user solutions never imagined before. Holographic meetings, all controlled by blockchain. Fourth wave, it'll be the mark of the beast, implants that are body powered and all commerce. We don't have to swipe, scan, carry wallets, our identifier wherever we walk, buy anything you want, anytime you want, and have your commercial transactions done effortlessly. It's coming. Fifth wave, telegraphic communications. And Elon Musk is working on it. AI to human. Can we work with machines by just thinking? He's already done it with chips they're implanting. He's doing it in his labs, all right, spending untold money in it. Wetware to wetware, where we can talk to each other just by sending our thoughts. And wetware to AI. Super change, that's coming, right? Backing up, Elon Musk wants to get to a point that consciousness can be backed up. But he's not alone. Labs all over the world are trying to back up who you are. Because then, if you had a death, you wouldn't be dead. You would still be you, and you could still go on. So can we get to that stage of revelation? Because it's all from upstairs that we're being revealed to. AI economics, central bank and policy, they're all driving from the rear vision mirror, trying to use backward 300 years of economic theory to govern super change. You can't drive at warp speeds and drive from the rear vision mirror. That's the way we've always done it. It won't work. So you're seeing control starting to slip, are you not? You're seeing it. You're smart enough to read it in the news and you understand they don't know what they're doing. And it's because the change has happened too fast for them to get on top of it, all right? So in 2014, 54% of all trading in the world became AI. It became an AI economy. Today, it's 94%. It'll be 96% next year. That's $440 trillion settling every day that's controlled by AI. All the markets, it's not you investing. You're investing in electronic funds that AI is investing. AI is investing. Warren Buffett had $1 million bet that humans managing money would outperform AI. He lost the million. AI outperformed the humans. And so the way money's managed today and movement has never happened. It's gone past all the regulations. The regulations for money management in Pakistan are in Pakistan. In the US, they're in the US. In the UK, they're in the UK. In China, they're in China. But the trades are in the cloud. And there's no regulation of the cloud. We've passed our regulatory frameworks, super change. AI is now writing the evolutionary code for managing money without us. AI is writing the code. And AI controls all that wealth. So the new age of AI economics is not only here, it's super changing. And as it super changes, it affects governments, nations, and everything else. We thought things would slow down. We could all catch up, but they're not slowing down. Things are speeding up, and the acceleration of change is exponentially occurring. The acceleration and pace of super change is increasing. VAM, velocity, acceleration, and momentum for change. VAM, and it's hard for us to deal with it. First, know the age you live in. You live in super change. You have to become a master of it, and it affects your future and your prosperity and also your peace at home. Humans must calm down. We need to calm down and become much more objective at looking at the information you got here, right? About the environments you want in your lifestyle. You need to acquire what you're doing here. New tools, new tactics to prosper in the new age of super change. Does that make sense? That's what we need to do. Now you know you're getting a GPS for what's coming.
Mr. Berman, sorry, due to time management, we only have 5 minutes left. Thank you.
Okay, so do I have 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, because I'll be done in 5 minutes. Yeah. So as founder of CEO Space, which I told you about, right? It's a transactional meeting. It's like you all got together and we do business the whole time to build your business. We get you customers or we get you capital. I only tell you about it because if you want to explore what we do in your lifetime, I want to give you a gift. If you ever in your lifetime decide to explore CEO Space as a place to grow yourself in super change, let me just tell you, you say you come from our host in the Future Conference, and for your lifetime, we will take $2,000 US off our price. So everybody know that you have that from me. If you ever come from Pakistan, you have that gift for us. And we don't do events, we do lifetime memberships. So you pay once, but can come back 5 times a year for the rest of your life. Super change rule number 1, humans that compete perish in conflict. So this is a big point of mine. We help companies become cooperative, which we talked about, your social capital. Humans that compete are gonna perish together. Humans that cooperate, we're all gonna prosper together. And I'm gonna go past some of these because of time. So we'll just get into cooperation. Enterprises are the ones we've influenced and helped build cooperative systems, and they're building the wealth of the world. They're going by all the old models. So super change retires competitive organization theory and advances cooperation organization theory. Competition is a pyramid of fear, punishment, and exploitation, right? And cooperation is hub management, where the spokes of a dentist office or a fortune company or a nation like Pakistan all are doing outer wheel momentum with these collaboration principles. A lot different than fear and punishment. And they always are more efficient and more effective, all right? So we help reform organizations and nations into cooperative methods, right? So the competitive capital and socialism models is make the highest return for the insiders at any cost in the shortest time. Are you with me? And then the cooperative capitalist model is produce the maximum benefit to societies being served, maximum benefit back to societies while making a profit. The reason I tell you is you just heard from our speaker, cooperative capitalism is changing the world. It's what's sweeping up now. It's where all the money's going because it's got common sense, right? So super change paradigm shift. AI economics rewards efficiency. Cooperation enterprises are far more efficient. Competitive institutions are dying. Cooperative institutions are thriving. And cooperation is increasingly social engineering a new form of cooperative capitalism. Why? It works better. So we're going to get that. My latest book presents the tools and the tactics for how to remain current in super change, how to master super change. And my last slide, I just got this 10 minutes before I came down, and I want you to see it because it's the first time the book cover coming out in 2 weeks has ever been shown to the public. So I tell you, time is more precious than diamonds because failure to remain optimized in the new super change era is fatal. A maximum prosperity and joy is what I wish you all in super change. And here's the title of my book, if it comes up, if it's, maybe I didn't get it. Well, that's the website. Oh, there it is. So you got it. So it's not too clear because I got it from a text message, so I apologize. But notice that Bob Proctor, some of you know, is endorsing the book, and so is Sharon Lechter of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the people that endorse the book on the inside and outside cover 1.5 billion readers and say you have to read the book. So you're the first to know about it. And in 2 weeks, I hope you become, for the holidays, you give yourself super change. I think those tools and tactics will help you for a lifetime. God bless you, and thank you for having me, and I hope I'm on time.